Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to Finding Light in the Darkness. I'm so glad that you've decided to start your day in this way, or if you happen to be here in Israel, where I am, then to finish your day with a little bit of meditation practice. So it is a stormy night right now in Israel, and you are only seeing this pre recorded version of the class if my internet has gone out. I felt so concerned that on our first day of gathering that I wouldn't been able to complete the live stream because of technical difficulties. And so I pre-recorded this class. So you're only seeing it if my internet has gone down because of the storms, which does happen here in Israel, or maybe if you're on the premium channel and if it turns out that we had some additional content in this pre-recording, then maybe you're seeing it on the premium channel for the course. So, welcome. Our intention through the winter into the spring is to gather at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. where I am in Israel, on Tuesdays to practice together. Um, it's hard for me that I can't see your faces. I wish that I could, especially if you're watching this pre recorded version. I do encourage you, though, to send in notes in the chat. And if you'd like to have a more interactive experience, there is a premium version of this course. I'll drop the link into the Facebook event where you can decide to opt into the premium version. You can pay $36, and there's an ebook that supports the practices that we'll be learning and exploring here together. And you'll have easy access to all of the recorded sessions all in one place. And those who opt in for the premium course, we will have a WhatsApp group where I can respond to questions, and I'll really encourage you to submit questions in advance of sessions so that we can at least have a little bit of that back and forth, give and take. So you'll notice that I am joining you here from my personal practice space in my home, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So even right now, if you just want to take a minute and switch and pick up this link from your phone rather than from your laptop, do what you can. Take a moment to do what you can to create a space dedicated to practice. And we'll make the best of it for today, but by the time we gather next week, and I do hope that you'll commit now to being with us as we build layer by layer the skills of meditation practice that we're going to be working on in this class. By the time we gather next week, I hope that you will have taken a tour of wherever it is that you find yourself at this time of the day on Tuesdays, whether that's at home or maybe you are an essential worker and you find yourself in the workplace. And select a spot that is your dedicated place for practice. Meditation practice is deeply rewarding, but it is also quite challenging. And so we always want to make use of any resources that we have in order to increase our likelihood for success, so increase the chances that we are able, for the amount of time that we've set aside, to successfully come to stillness, come to quiet. And the practice we're going to be doing in this course is called metta practice. So to come to stillness and quiet and to engage in the metta practice that we're going to be doing together. And the first way you can set yourself up for success in that way is by creating something of a home altar. So you want to find a place that is quiet, that has a certain stillness to it, where you know you're not going to be disturbed. And especially if you're still in a situation of sheltering in place, and if you live with others as these long months have worn on, I know how rare that can be. And yet it really is possible, even if it has to be, in a closet or under a desk, whatever it takes to put a sign on the door and to let anyone who's in your space know that this is your sacred time for going inward. And then you want to bring into that space objects that help you to connect with your soulfulness. And so you see, I have my dream catcher that has rose quartz up at the top. That's a rose quartz stone, and then I have my diagram of the chakras because they are two visual cues that help me to bear in mind and to be connected with the fact that when I settle into practice, I'm settling into my sense of soulfulness, to the part of me that is entirely whole, entirely here, right now. So hopefully I'm finding you in a personal practice space, and maybe you took a minute to get yourself where you needed to be, or open the door and say, okay, don't bother me, I'm going to do some meditation now, and to shut the door and to come into stillness. So I want to welcome you to this precise here and now. Arrive here with me. Let's take a moment and just direct your attention to bringing your whole weight, the weightiness of you, into the chair or cushion that you are sitting on. So just drop your weight down. You might visualize yourself like a tree and see yourself sinking roots down, down, down. And you can close the eyes, and with the next inhale, let the breath lengthen the spine upward. Just filling up with breath, feeling the spine grow long, feeling the collarbone expand, and extending the crown up towards the sky. And let's take our first exhale out the mouth, just sighing it out, releasing any tension. Coming fully, fully, fully into this here and now. And let's take two more like that. I'm going to close my eyes as well. Just deep breath in, lengthens the spine. Feeling the crown growing taller. And exhale as a sigh, or if you're ready, through the nose. Releasing, releasing. And feeling as you come to emptiness, that weightiness, sinking roots down into your chair, into the cushion, into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. So this course is called Finding Light in the Darkness. And I am offering it in partnership with Kabbalah Experience, which is a fantastic learning community based in Denver, Colorado. And if you aren't familiar with them, you should check out their full lineup of courses. They have a whole self-guided program of study of Kabbalah, and then wonderful classes that you can take online, or if you're in the Denver area, once the world gets going again, they do have a space where students gather there in person. And the reason that we wanted to do this course right now is because of my sense of the profound brokenness that's in the world. And it's really a brokenness that it precedes the pandemic. If anything, the pandemic amplified dynamics that were here all along. But this is a world in profound need of repair. And we are lucky because uh, Kabbalah invites each of us to take an active role in the repair of the world. If you are at all familiar with Jewish tradition, you likely have heard the phrase tikkun olam. So in the liberal Jewish world, tikkun olam, repairing the world, has come to mean doing acts of social justice, and that's wonderful. It's really wonderful. We should repair the world with our hands and our efforts, working brick by brick to make the world a better place. And I just love that the Biden-Harris team called the country to a national day of service yesterday on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so maybe some of you participated in that. Really, all the other minutes when you're not sitting here practicing with me, I hope you are doing acts of justice. I hope you are working with your strength to make the world better. But right now, for the period of this practice, when we are engaging in this class, which is called Finding Light in the Darkness, we take a different approach. Kabbalah invites us, each of us, to think of ourselves as microcosms of the entire universe and a microcosm of the divine. That God, on some fundamental level, is a reflection of me, and I am a reflection of the Creator. And that in that I am made in the image of God, in that my own energetic map is made up of the same energetic dynamics in Kabbalah known as the Kabbalistic tree of life, 10 primary faces, attributes, energy centers that work as like a cosmic processing station of all of life force, all energy, in that is my fundamental architecture. And it is also the fundamental architecture of the universe and the Creator, that I have tremendous power in being a human being walking on the earth right now. Not only do I have power, I have a sacred responsibility. That to walk in the world as a Kabbalist, and I am here today to call each of you to join me in being Kabbalists. That as Kabbalists, it's our responsibility to repair the world. It is our responsibility to do energetic work of liberation, to find the light in the darkness, and to return that light to source. That's what we're here to do. So if in all the other days of the week you're working with your hands and with your heart and taking action to make the world better, today we take the alternative approach. We say that if every human being were to stop right now, stop investing in hate, stop investing in the othering of one another, and start investing in healing, in a practice of compassion, if we all just collectively decided to do that, then we would be living in a world full of compassion. That is what the world would be. To be a Kabbalist is to take radical responsibility for myself first. To say that if I do my own inner work, I will be myself, one person, tipping the scales here on the earth plane from a place of fear to a place of love, from being a source of violence or judgment to being a source of compassion. And so that is what we are here to do. So I'm going to take a few minutes right now. I'm going to teach you about metta practice, this practice that we're going to be using, and we're just going to go layer by layer. Now, if you are an experienced practitioner and you came here to practice, and you want to be sure that you're going to start your morning in that way, then I really invite you just right now to drop in and to let my voice be in the background. Maybe you'll find this recording later. But if you want to do a 30-minute practice, then I encourage you to start that now. We are going to layer by layer add on and take on a 10-minute meditation practice before we bid one another farewell for today. So what is metta? Metta is a Pali word. Pali is a language closely related to Sanskrit, meaning compassion. Metta is the practice of compassion. It's a meditative technique in which we direct the mind and eventually direct the heart towards a posture of compassion. So this is meditation, but it's a certain type of meditation. So it's important that we take a step back and just get a sense of what's what. So meditation is the process of directing the attention to one specific point of focus of my choosing for the duration of time that I've chosen to do it. That's what meditation is. Meditation is paying attention. In Hebrew, the phrase we use for paying attention is sumat lev. So meditation is the conscious choice to place my heart or my heartfulness in a certain direction for the amount of time that I've chosen for it to be there. That's what meditation is. Nothing more complicated than that. Now, there are two fundamental types of meditation. There's meditation that is a practice of concentration, the intentional paying of attention. And then there's modes of meditation that are about cultivating states of heart and mind. So, metta practice is a cultivation practice. That's what we're here to do together. But it really rests on the foundation of a practice of concentration. So, if you've never meditated before, then I really want to encourage you to download. There's a lot of free meditation apps. I myself use Insight Timer. Um, Download a meditation app and take on a practice of um, a concentration based meditation practice. It's enough to do 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes before you go to bed. Um, but when you are practicing meditation for the purposes of concentration, you are exercising the muscle of attention. We live in a world which is constantly, relentlessly competing for our attention, and we see increasingly shortened capacity to pay attention. Some of us might feel this in ourselves, the times in our lives, or maybe if we felt our anxiety increase during the pandemic, um, the times that we can settle in with a nice book versus the times where we can't hold our attention that long, and we need to read something that's a shorter form, or we need to do video or audio because we can't let the attention settle. Our capacity for paying attention is diminishing as the intensity of stimulation increases in our fast paced world. So we need to exercise our muscle of attention. And so, what that means is that you decide, I'm suggesting maybe 5 minutes is a place to start. You decide for the duration of these 5 minutes, I'm only going to pay attention. And the most common place that we pay attention is to the breath. And so, I'm going to sit here in my practice space and I'm going to choose breath by breath to bring the fullness of my attention only to my breath. Let's try it. Close the eyes. And I want you to pay attention to the feeling of the breath entering and leaving the nostrils. So take a deep breath in, feel the coolness of the tip of the nose, feel the body full of breath. And as you're ready, release the breath, feel the warmth on the tip of the nose, feel the way the chest sinks, the belly softens and then puffs. The fullness of the attention on the act of breathing. Now, as soon as you start to practice in this way, you'll notice that your capacity of attention would prefer not to be on the breath. There's so many other places that we could pay attention. And that is when meditation comes in. Meditation is the returning of the attention to the place you have chosen to place it for the duration of time. So for these 5 minutes, you are going to again and again, kindly, gently, from a place of love and self-compassion, return the attention to the breath. Now, uh, paying attention to the breath can be the beginning and the end of meditation, and it can bring tremendous well-being and tremendous fruitful. It can be a tremendously fruitful practice. And yet, sometimes it feels like not the juiciest practice. What about the big insights? And it is the practice we're going to be doing together in this class, metta practice, uh, is is really transformational. So concentration-based meditation practice sometimes doesn't feel as transformational, but that's okay. That's because transformation isn't the point of it. The point of it is exercising your capacity for paying attention. So we're not going to work on that here, but if it's not something that you do, I really encourage you every day for this winter and spring. Uh, I challenge you to spend 5 minutes in a concentration-based meditation practice. Ideally, you can start your day with it and you can end your day with it. And you'll know that if you pay attention to the breath for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening, there are tremendous, measurable health benefits to just breathing deeply in that way. Long-term impacts on the blood pressure and overall stress hormones in the body. So really, really, really good stuff, and I encourage you. And I'm going to ask you next week if you've been doing it. And if you find that you haven't, then I want you to think about it like brushing your teeth. I want you to think about it like brushing your teeth. It's just really good for you. It's something that you need to do. And so, first of all, if you find that you missed it one day, you're not going to say like, "Oh, forget it. That's it. It's over." No, no, no. You missed it. You're going to brush your teeth when you realize. You're going to meditate again the next day. And if you find that you're still not doing it, I will tell you, brushing your teeth is actually not a bad concentration practice. Rather than paying attention to your breath, you could pay attention to all those sensations in the mouth and that minty toothpaste, and you could challenge yourself to bring the fullness of your attention to the felt sense of brushing your teeth. And even there, with all of those really strong stimuli, you'll find that still the attention would prefer to scurry off until you'll notice and lovingly bring it back, because that's the practice again and again and again. Okay, so here we are doing a cultivation practice called metta. So metta is known as loving kindness practice, and sometimes we call it blessing practice. When we practice metta, we practice the giving and receiving of blessings. Now, we are gathered here as Kabbalists using a Buddhist technique. Why? Because I have this theory that we Jews who practice our religious lives are based on Judaism, we don't much know what we're talking about when we talk about blessings. We really don't. We have this beautiful Jewish tradition that our sages challenge us to make 100 blessings a day. And a lot of us, especially those of us who are further from Judaism, maybe we know about the Shechianu prayer, where we say this blessing that is expressing gratitude for having reached a particularly beautiful moment. So we begin to get a clue about what we mean by blessings when we say the Shechianu prayer. But fundamentally, we have this formula in Judaism, where our blessing formula, it starts Baruch Atah Adonai. Blessed are you, God, who does this thing that I want to be acknowledging. And in Judaism, we have hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of blessings. Blessed are you, God. So we'll notice, if we bring our close attention to that, blessed are you, God. That would mean that I am the blesser and God is the blessed. That's sort of contrary to what I might have thought or expected. I might have thought or expected that divinity is the source of blessing, and I am the recipient. And yet, when we open the Jewish prayer book, we say again and again and again, "Blessed are you, God." You, God, are blessed. I'm the blesser. So the reason I love metta practice is because it allows us to play with both postures. It allows us to be both the source of blessing and the recipient of blessing. We are here in this class to work with the binary nature of this plane of existence, which is planet Earth. Earth is the domain of binaries. We are here, light is experienced here as refraction. When we see light, we see shadow. We know and appreciate good by experiencing evil. Of course, we talk a lot about the binary in this day and age as we're evolving in our conceptions of gender. But before, our conceptions of gender were being challenged primarily by our young people who are being born with a softer relationship to the binary than the generations that have come in before them. Before all that, we would have said, nope, binary, male, female, simple. The earth is a place where we, and maybe even we humans, are naturally predisposed to knowing by noticing difference, contrast. And the world is sick from that right now. The world is sick from that right now. We have become so skilled in our ability to other that we have lost ourselves completely, to the point where, the unraveling that we've seen in the United States in this last year, we have a complete lack of consensus about what is true. We just radically live in different worlds because we've gotten so expert at othering. We are here in this class to practice holding the tension, not seeing either light or dark, but holding the wholeness of both. So you might call to mind the imagery of the yin yang, which is the interpenetration of dark and light, with light in darkness and darkness in light. Our challenge is to see every manifest situation, any experience in our lives, any moment we encounter, to see it in that way, to know that it is only coming to be on planet Earth because it contains both light and darkness. And we are here for the 45 minutes of this class to practice um, offering our open-hearted compassion to that dynamic of light and dark. That's what we do in metta practice. The way we do it is by feeling into the ways that we both are in profound need of blessing and compassion, are thirsty for it. We need it. We as human beings, we are made to just drink up love, drink up life force. We're thirsty for it. We need it more than oxygen. And equally, we are bestowers of compassion. We can be the givers of it. To practice metta is to practice giving and receiving compassion. And we do it in such a way that we feel our capacity for one improving our capacity for the other. The more we can take it, the more we can give it. Now, normally, when we build a metta practice layer by layer, we normally start by working with something pretty neutral. And by the end of this class, I'm going to teach you what is metta, and we're going to do it for a little while. And once you know, it's very, 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 very simple. Once you know, I want you to do it all the time. Standing in line, if you still get to go to the supermarket, standing in line in the supermarket, perfect place to practice metta. Stuck in traffic, beautiful, life-changing to practice metta. Normally, we start this practice by working with non-charged recipients. We take up the posture as giver of blessings, and we offer our blessings, we offer our well wishes to people and objects that we don't find very triggering. We can just say, yeah, I don't know you from sliced bread. I wish you well. I pray for your health and your wholeness. I pray for your ease, for your joyfulness. I pray for your liberation. That's normally how we begin. But today is January 19th, and the world is so polarized, and it needs the power of our compassion. So today we are going to do something a little bit radical, and we're going to practice directing our attention to the Capitol complex, to the mall in Washington, which has held so much division over the last months with the Black Lives Matter protests and the militarized presence there, and then with the insurrection that happened as the vote was certified. That place has absorbed so much polarity, and it will be suffused tomorrow with polarity. And so we're going to take this time right now, and we're going to practice metta, directing our intention to that physical space and to any of the humans who might come to mind for us who are going to fill that space tomorrow during the inauguration. And we're going to do it with the belief and the conviction that our directing of mind does change the world, because we're here to be Kabbalists. We are holy, sacred transformers of light. We have the ability to heal brokenness in ourselves and in the world through the capacity of our attention. And if that statement challenges you, the rational in you, then I honor that and I want to say try it anyway. Because when you Google Metta after this class, what you'll find it's the most researched of all of the postures of meditation, and study after study demonstrates that it has profoundly positive impacts on the meditator. So even if you don't believe me that the power of your positive intention can shift the energy that is going to be on the Washington Mall tomorrow, then trust me in knowing that science has demonstrated that the power of your positive intention will have a positive impact on you. So we're going to end our time together now with 10 minutes of metta practice. I'm going to talk you through it. Again, if this is something you do, you should feel free to tune me out. I want to challenge you today to call to mind the expanse that is the Washington Mall, the Capitol complex, the setting where the inauguration is going to unfold. You can call it to mind almost like a snow globe, and you can locate yourself outside of it. And as you practice, you might feel yourself energetically drawn inward until you're eventually located. Depending on your capacity and how you're feeling today, you might locate yourself within it. That's up to you. And if you're new to this practice, then I want you to be with me and let's settle in. Let's close the eyes again. And we're going to begin just with 5 centering breaths, leaving our attention fully on that felt sense of the breath coming in and out of the body. The eyes are closed, the spine is long, the cheeks are soft, the tongue is pressed, resting gently on the back of the teeth. And the fullness of your intention is on your breath. And maintaining the softness that you have now in the body. As we practice, I don't want you to lose this softness. You right now are safe and whole. And if as we practice, you feel yourself begin to tighten, or feel triggered in some way by the ambition in this practice, because it is ambitious, then you come back to your breath. And if that doesn't do it, I want you to open your eyes. I want you to scan the room where you are and remind yourself that you are safe and whole. There is nothing for the duration of our practice that can undermine the safety that is your reality now. You have profound capacity for generosity in a way that doesn't take anything away from you. To the contrary, the more we give of our loving kindness, the more it grows in us. The eyes are closed, and let's call to mind the setting where the inauguration is going to take place. And if there's one particular landmark in Washington that immediately pops into your mind, it's fine to use that as an anchor. Right now, we want to be holding the physical space in the mind's eye. And we can see it like it's in a snow globe. We can imagine that globe in our hand, just like we are cradled in the palm of the divine. And all of planet Earth is cradled in the palm of the divine. We now cradle this space, the capital of the United States, in our palm, holding it in love. And let's begin by offering our well wishes to President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris, wherever you are politically. These are people who have volunteered to give of their skills and their strength to be public servants for the next 4 years. So let's bring them to our mind's eye. And in metta practice, we just repeat simple phrases of well wishes. So we can say with our inner voice, may you be happy and free from suffering. May you be joyful. May you be free. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you know peace. And again, may you be healthy and free from suffering. May you be joyful. May you be free. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you know peace. And we just repeat these phrases, perhaps on each exhale. So you inhale deeply. May you be healthy and free from suffering. And inhale. May you be joyful. May you be free. And inhale. May you accept yourself just as you are. And inhale. May you know peace. And now let's zoom out a bit and acknowledge that though there'll be fewer than in years past, there'll be many people gathering in this space on the Washington Mall tomorrow. People of very different persuasions. People who have fought a lifetime to be there, and people for whom there is a sense of devastation, a sense of loss. The people who arrive tomorrow might be afraid for their physical safety. They no doubt will see, as we'll see on camera, armed soldiers. So holding the totality of the humanity that is going to be gathered in that space, not any individual. but just people, our brothers and sisters there, holding that humanity in our heart, cradled in the palm of our loving hands. Let's address them. May you be healthy and free from suffering. May you be joyful. May you be free. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you know peace. Just staying with the breath and letting those phrases repeat. And so, if what's right for you is to be offering strength to President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris, and you're going to stay there, or if it's feeling good to offer the collective humanity as one your well wishes, then you're going to stay there. Or you might choose now to stretch the heart and to see what it would feel like to offer well wishes to someone on the other side of the political aisle from where you find yourself. To call even President Trump to mind, who's vowed not to attend, no matter how you feel about his actions. And even to him, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and free from suffering. May you be joyful, may you be free. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you know peace. And before we conclude our practice, one time, let's offer ourselves this same goodness. May I be healthy and free from suffering. May I be joyful. May I be free. May I accept myself just as I am. May I know peace. And let's just take a quick scan of the body from root to crown, noticing how we feel having spent these 10 minutes acting as bestower of blessings, source of compassion. And as you're ready on the next inhale, let's let the eyelids flutter open. And we're going to wrap up our class for today. Thank you so much for being here. If you're interested, you can click the link in the event and order the e-reader that supports this class. And that will give you access to all the previously recorded sessions and to a WhatsApp group where we'll support one another. Or you can choose to just drop in week after week here for this free live stream. Each week we'll add layers to our practice. We'll notice together the ways that it transforms and challenges our heart and our heartfulness. And as the weeks go on, we'll spend more of our time in meditation, less talking, more meditation, but we'll build the practice slowly together. I want to end by offering you the blessings that we've been offering to the world. May you be happy. May you be healthy and free from suffering. May you be joyful. May you be free. May you accept yourself just as you are. And may you know peace. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye for now.